Oh hey, it's Wes, and we're just getting into the new V1 Pro, or the Adorama Flashpoint R2 Zoom Lithium-Ion XS Pro. We're going to call it the V1 Pro. So let's get started. The first thing that we need to do before we do a review is put it through its paces really hard. So we have these two flashes with recently charged batteries. Not too recently, we don't want them to be super hot. I'm going to turn them on. The new one, the old one, I'm going to sync them up here, both on channel 1, 1/2 power. We have them both set to 80mm zoom to keep the flash bulb a little bit separated away from the Fresnel lens, just so we don't melt it by accident. That'll be another thing, perhaps. We have our intervalometer set to every 4 seconds. First we're setting within sync, and then later on we're going to do it with high-speed sync after everything has had a chance to cool down and recharge. They are both using their default stock batteries. This is the new special battery, the VB30, and this is the VB26A, the more recent battery. So, are we ready to do this? Hopefully nothing catches on fire or melts down, but hey, if it does, it does. Oh, yep, it's working. So, based on the spec sheets, the original V1 should last for about 4 minutes, and the new one should last for about 10 minutes firing at 1/2 power. So that is 60 flashes versus 150 flashes. This V1 has been through a lot. It is not exactly brand new, so I don't know if that means it's going to last the exact same amount of time or not. And one thing that surprised me that might interest you is the new V1 Pro is not exactly the same size as the old one. I kind of just thought that they were rehousing it, putting some new components in, but the flash head is just slightly larger. The body is a very similar size, but the shoe on the bottom is a slightly different shape. It's a metal shoe like the new one, but it's all different shape. And some of that new different shape might be to accommodate the external battery pack connection here. We're not going to be testing that for overheating performance today. And then another difference up here is the special little interface that allows you to connect our cute little front flash unit. This is very lightweight. Doesn't feel like much. And we'll test that later on. Side here we have a difference of having the TTL manual switch. You can see one of the big differences is you can charge this thing with USB-C straight into the battery. So you can charge it while it's in the flash, you can charge it out of the flash. I did already test the charge performance of these, and they're essentially identical. They both have this weird up and down pulsing scenario. I was kind of hoping that this new one would charge faster than the old one, because the old one does charge pretty slowly. It's nice that you can charge it on the go via USB-C, which you always kind of could, because the charger that came with it is very small. Not hard to fit that in your bag, but still not as convenient as being able to plug right into the battery itself. Alright, we are nearing 3-minute mark here, which means that the V1, the original, should overheat in about 1 minute. Let's fast forward through that and find out what happens. Now the risk at the cutoff point is that it will begin to slow down. So this isn't going to have the maximum refire rate that it used to, but it still has a 4-second recycle, so it's still having no issue with the original V1. Very impressive. Especially given the amount of use this thing has had over the years. It kind of makes me worry for how long it's going to take for this one to overheat. We might be at this for a while. And yet you can see that they're recycling crazy fast here. And honestly, it looks like the V1 Pro is recycling slower than the V1 is right now. That is very surprising. Eesh. But they're still handily able to cycle at this point within the 4-second mark. And this original V1 is still recycling so fast. So the V1 Pro has barely changed. The V1 is just under the wire here. Oh, it missed it. At the 7-minute mark, the V1 has failed to reach the 4-second recycle time. Whew. That was quite the upset, V1 Pro. You're out. But that was not as linear as I thought it was going to be. So this supposedly has at least another 2.5 minutes to go before we start losing performance here. If anything, I would say the Pro is sped back up again. This is bizarre. Let's see, the back is 24. Got 32. 34 Celsius. That's definitely not hot enough to melt plastic. Side of the battery, 28, not bad. 28. Oh, wow. The original V1 is, even though it's been off for a couple minutes, the head is 41 degrees Celsius. The V1 Pro is 34 degrees Celsius. Now that is interesting. So this slightly larger head, I don't know what they are doing, but it is managing the heat significantly better. Yeah, this V1 that's been off for a few minutes is still clearly warmer to the touch than the V1 Pro that is still banging along here. And I was worried for a second there that this was going to overheat faster. In my final review, I am going to disassemble both of these flashes if I can do so safely. I don't want to completely destroy them because I also want to do a long-term review down the road, and if it no longer exists, I can't do that. I would like to see what they are doing inside this flash to manage the heat so much better. Whoa! I missed it. That was 10 minutes and 30 seconds, so just beyond what they said. Flashing these flashes at my MacBook Pro screen has caused the screen to turn off. I suspect that the ambient light sensor is sensing too much light and it thinks that it's in a dangerous situation here when it isn't actually. And that is 9 more flashes than they promised, so kudos to them. We're going to let these flashes cool down. See you on the flip side for our high-speed sync overheating test. Okay, and we're back. Had some lunch, recharged some batteries, let things cool down, had a little break, but now it's time to do the even harder test, the high-speed sync test. So, what are our ratings? Well, this one is supposed to be able to do 70 at 1/2 power, and this one is supposed to do 20 at 1/2 power. That is a huge difference. That's just at their maximum recycle speeds, or minimum rather. But at our 4-second window, that may or may not be the same. Let's turn them on. Still both at 80 millimeters. Sync them up. Now we have it plugged into a camera so that we can force that high-speed sync, which I can't really do with my intervalometer natively. Okay. Oh, yep, they are flashing. During my full review, I'll also be testing the actual high-speed sync performance of the V1 Pro and see how it stacks up, because that is actually a highly variable thing, how well a flash is able to maintain those flashes to cover high-speed sync performance. Some are better than others of that. The V1 is starting to struggle here. Oh boy, it is right down to the wire. I think it's going to fail through the 4-second test soon. Oh, made it. And it is out at the 2-minute mark. V1 Pro still going strong, as expected. We're expecting this to last to at least 4.6 minutes. It spikes while it's flashing, but we are still only at about 27 degrees on the front there. 25 on the side. Battery not that warm, 25. We're starting to get pretty close to that 4-second recycle time. Yep, still going pretty strong. It's not recycling crazy fast, but easily within the 4-second time frame. Well, we are almost to 5 minutes now, and it's still having no problem recycling within that 4-second time frame. Getting an overheat warning on the flash body, and yeah, we have failed at about 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Oh, gotta stop this. Even more than Godox promised. Now their promise is based on a slightly faster recycle time, but still impressive performance. Let's see what our temperature is now. 28 degrees, 27 degrees. That is not even close to plastic melting. Doesn't even feel that hot to the touch. There you have it. We have passed our recycle time test. And honestly, I remember when I did the torture test of the V1 and the V860 Mark III, a very pungent odor filled the room. It smells warm, but it doesn't smell nearly as caustic as the previous ones did. Good job, but how is it going to hold up in the field? We'll find out. Subscribe for more. We're going to put it through the rest of its paces. Let's go take some photos.